Hi. So, just another random video, and if anyone does or doesn't see this, you know, saying no mud, no lotus. I don't know if I've heard that saying. It's from the Love Oracle book by Jericho Mandibur. Mandibur? I don't want to say that incorrectly, but yeah. Um, I don't know, like, I guess just reading the purpose of it is trauma and times of hopelessness and despair, you know, knowing some people in the past could have gone through something that kind of hurts them or makes them feel bad or alone. You could even look at someone else's life and see how much easier and better it can be for certain other people, but certain people go through other pretty shitty situations just in specific areas, like this or that or this or that. But when your time comes for this, your time comes. You got to do the best you can with what you got, not be jealous of what someone else has got. Because I've said this saying a lot of times before, but this doesn't apply to the situation I'm thinking about. Like, I'm thinking about certain things, like some people have it easier in love lives or this or that, or it can even be something as simple as the body. Like, I was going to the gym 5 days a week. I'm only going like 2, maybe 3 now, but I still find it hard to stay skinny if I eat more or less, depending on this or that. I have a thyroid problem. Or when it comes to way of love in the heart, even before my thyroid problem, I had a problem with fighting relationships. I don't know if it's because I get too PTSD traumatized and not a lot of people can handle it, or it was because of rumors. Because at first, for a while, I was like, when I came to Perth, Tinder asked me to be, if they could feature me for some benefits, this or that, and that kind of didn't end up going well. There was a lot of rumors, because at that point in my life, I was like, no sex before marriage, no this, no that, and there was, before, crazy people online, which was every time. Yeah, it's a stupid story. But yeah, a lot of rumors and a lot of this and a lot of that. So it can be hard to find for this reason. Some people don't want to connect to you. Some people just want someone that's going to hook up, and maybe it's because you don't do this or that. But you've got to wait to the day, and you've got to love yourself and find someone who will love you for you, not someone who will love you for what you're not or what they want you to be as well. Sometimes in life we can get depressed, or we can get alone, or we can be in trauma, or we can struggle silently and no one else wants to help you. See, in my life, I've been lucky enough to meet some friends who let me talk about all my bullshit and this or that, and they're usually pretty chill or this about it or this or that, like about these things and this or that. It's just pretty cool to have someone to listen. It can suck. You can be alone for like years with no one talking to you or answering back or caring about you, and those you care about turning on you. Like, well, I guess a lot of these people didn't really care. Some of them just wanted to get the money you're earning or saving for themselves, and some of them turn on you because their partner might think you're more attractive, or want to date you or care about you. I don't know. There's a lot of weird situations that this can happen, or people can turn on people for stupid situations, but, in the end of the day, you gotta work for you and be for you and do the best for you. And, like, we can all be struggling in silence, but you can always reach out and talk to someone and try to get help, even if it only helps a little bit by a little bit. You got here one step or one crawl or one wheel of a chair at a time, day by day, to make it to where you are. It could be a shitty situation, it could get worse, it could get better. I mean, for me right now, I've gone into like a bit of a phase where my room is so ridiculously messy and horrid and horrible looking, but yeah, you got to try to go and make it day by day, go forward into the future. Sometimes you can just put your feet on the ground, where am I? You can think about where you came from, what took you to get there later, but you just got to put your feet on the ground and be like, where am I right now? How did I get here? Is it worse? Is it better? What I need to do to make it better? Sometimes you just need to reach out and talk and try to not make a worse decision and make a decision for the better. Cleanse your workspace to keep a piece of clear quartz on your desk. I don't know about that, that's interesting, but I don't really usually do much like that. Knight of Coins. A sour person trying to put sourness on someone else. So there's lemons in this card. I'm seeing someone, they're holding this coin, so they're trying to put their sour. Someone's like gonna try to mess with someone. Someone's gonna try to put their sour intent on someone else. I can see they do this with a flower or three kinds of flowers, or one of three kinds of flowers, or someone who tends to them. Maybe it's a white flower they're using, like a flower with white on it, maybe kind of like a dandelion or something, like a white dandelion looking thing, I don't know. Someone's going to be either working with or working around or using this, or someone doing this is going to be trying to put a sourness on someone else's life, or letting some sour intent or something to do with similarness. Even maybe it's even just growing with lemon, I don't know. Someone is making their own music. They're going to the beat of their own drum. They're making their intent in life, and they're making their intent, and they have something in their life that should be boundless. That is their own, that should be boundless, that they're creating. You know, as it says, taking one step at a time, going to the future. Quite a strong individual and person going forward. We have someone who's going to be released from a position of power, who's been on a position of power, because of a jagged sword, essentially. So someone has kind of like used a jagged sword and threats to force the way to where they are. Maybe a lot of people have listened to these threats and used these threats and taken them seriously and listened to them because of some threats made, but they're going to be released in this position of power. And this is actually something to do with a thief, or someone unleashing a thief who is riding on one big cat or a tiger, essentially. So someone basically had sex with someone or was dating someone who was in a position of power or stronger, and they've stolen something and a position from someone, and they've stolen some information, they've stolen knowledge, they've stolen this or that to get where they are. But we have the Sun, someone who is truly in a position of power or a high position, or is in high strength or energy over something or someone. Someone has been juggling and balancing a lot of work-life day, looking at all these attacks incoming and looking at things coming at them, not sure if they're just swooping down to say hi or if they're attacking or what they're doing. And we have a surprise, someone's blind to a truth, and a surprise that someone's going to know or find about. So someone just blatantly doesn't see something happening or going on, someone just blatantly doesn't see something. We have a doctor or a nurse taking care of a child, so someone who could have delivered a baby or known a baby, or I'm getting someone could have even taken in a baby that was abandoned or alone, or someone was in another situation they couldn't get to, so there was like a lost baby or a lost child, or a child raised by a baby, or like a doctor's baby, or a child raised by a doctor, or that a doctor has given birth to. Someone could have been amputated or an amputee. Someone could have been without an arm or a leg, an amputee. And something about this is something to do with something like a trifecta, whether it's good or bad, like a horrible thing that happened, which was someone who was wounded or hurt or made disabled as a child in a horrible situation. So I'm getting someone struggling, someone alone, someone who is surrounded by trash. So someone who is surrounded by horrible people and horrible situations and intense since they were a child. And some not very nice situations or things, some horrible things happening and going on because of some lies that someone has told out of selfish intent. Someone who says they have a position of power, they might previously have a position of power, had one somewhere else, but they're currently pretending to be something or someone they should not be, as well as so someone might have been important somewhere else or to someone else or someone else in another situation, but in the situation they're in now, they don't have any knowledge of what they're talking about in this situation. They don't know what they're doing, and they're pretending to be powerful. In another situation, this might have been someone who is homeless, who has stolen someone else's home as well, and a lot of people are getting bad results from that. Someone amongst them has hidden strength, and it's hidden. Someone amongst them is hidden, a hidden strength who is doing the best and very strong, can be very strong on their own or by themselves. someone is being overlooked and underestimated, someone's sitting in the background, ready to strike. And we have a death. So, this is going to end in, I guess, someone that you know or someone is going to die. I don't know if it's going to be in the next 3 months, if it's 3 months or in 3 months, but there's a death. There's unseen forces in the background trying to get oversee this death. I don't know if it's for the worse or for the better to make this happen, to do with the death. Like, there's people in the background trying to orchestrate around this and lie and force this to happen. I'm getting it's because of a position of power. So it could be for a position of power that someone thinks they might be able to inherit or take if this person doesn't get it or doesn't have it. So they're trying to see to this that they have this position of power over someone else, because someone in this situation was rightfully given the right to a position of power or inheritance or stature or respect because they have earned it and they've known it and they're worthy of this position. But someone is trying to see that someone meets a short demise or a sooner demise than they should, because they want this position. Like, you know, it should be my position, it should be this, it should be that, or this person. They might fear that this person is going to grow more powerful than them or be more in the position, and this person might be quite a cruel and selfish person. That's why they're not letting someone else overtake or get this position over them. Very intimidated and threatened by this person without this person actually threatening them. Daily self-care is essential to survival. So yeah, someone is intimidated just because of how strong someone is or how powerful they are, how unique they are. So someone might be going after someone, trying to weaken them or make them meet a short demise purely because they're intimidated by how strong or beautiful or naturally gifted this person is, and they're scared it threatens their position. When if they were the same age equivalent, or if they were the same stature, or if they had the same amount of friends and help, they might be very intimidated by this person, or even just because they're a good person, so people follow them and respect them because they want to, for good reasons, because they're actually the good person they say they are. Someone who loves, someone who has dreams, someone who has pledged something to someone, and someone who heals. Maybe someone, let's see if this is about someone fearing getting caught out for something or someone they love. Like, maybe I'm getting someone knows that they've been stealing from people and doing these horrible things and essaying people for all this money and these weird sadistic fucking like coven shit and going to all these horrible situations. So I'm getting someone could be lying a lot about things that have happened because they could also be fear of exposure for what kind of person they truly are and what was truly going on. Okay, so we have an illusion. So this is definitely about someone manipulating. So someone could be trying to kill someone or take someone out because they fear that someone is going to expose the truth they've been hiding and something they've been doing. So someone has been kind of, putting this ball of light essentially in front of someone. Someone has been making things appear to be as they are not. Someone sits on a windowsill or ledge or higher up area or position, like I think physically higher, and it is draped in blood. So the way they got here was draped in blood, getting something to do with nails and blood. Someone has bound someone's strength to something else. So someone has, like you see someone who might bind, in TV shows, someone might bind someone's abilities that they possess naturally to someone else because they're like, I don't want you to help or save these other people or heal or do good because I want to hurt people and do bad. I'm getting someone has, instead of like saying I bind your strength, they're like, I'm binding I'm going to someone else, I'm binding someone else's strength to myself, or I am binding someone else's beauty to me so that I possess their beauty. Or they could even be binding like the weaker or the uglier parts of themselves to someone else. So like they think all these different people start to look like this, but they're actually binding their ugliness to this person or binding this person's beauty to themselves. But I'm getting this is to do with strength and character as well. They could be trying to bind opinions and friendships. So like, I swore that I like someone, but now I like this person instead. Why do I like this person all of a sudden? Someone could be binding someone's opinions. Like I bind people's opinions of you to me, or I bind someone's opinions of you to hatred. In this situation, you're supposed to go, like, it, it's not like you're going to find someone who's from the royal lineage who is chosen to be the prince, because it's said that the true chosen prince in stories and fairy tales and fables possesses a kiss. And this kiss is not like a succubus, but sometimes in law it can get confused for it. But it's said that the kiss of a prince on the forehead, the shoulder, or the hand or something is like true love's first kiss. So you have true love's first kiss, which can break a curse when true love's first kiss meets, yes. But if someone's from a royal family and they have a kiss, the kiss of the prince might get the urge to kiss. But the kiss of a prince is said to be able to break a spell or a curse if the prince is true and is chosen by, like, the natural law and order of the universe. The prince's kiss is said to be powerful enough to break a curse, which some people might assume is a sex or 16 or succubus, but that's by like the original true royal line that's supposed to rule over all, not just like the individual sections that were given in this or that. So the kiss is said to break the curse, which is kind of interesting. I forgot what the main point of that was when I went off into that, but yeah. Oh, okay. Here, I think it does directly relate to that, because we have this one here, ready to attack or cut someone, or do something horrible. We have the hand here being given to a man, so I'm getting someone is going to go around trying to find someone who's powerful enough to break a curse being laid upon them, which is the hand kiss. So I'm getting this is in relation to, like, either true love's first kiss, or the kiss of the prince from a fairy tale story, so someone might be looking for the fairy tale lore of the prince, which I don't think it does apply to reality. But yeah. We have the Ace of Wands. We have something being looked at. We have something or a magic being looked at in another direction or from another angle. So rather than looking at it as you're told or shown to look at it, they look at it as it is. Which reminds me, in certain movies or laws or rules or this or that, you're supposed to be able to unbind somehow. So, like, if someone is trying to bind things to where they shouldn't be, you're supposed to be going to a position of power, or go and tap into the power energy that's around you. Be like, I unbind everything to do with or associated with me and bindings upon me, or bindings from another, or bindings for things that is me, or bindings that should not be, in any wicked, sinful, horrid, jealous, envious intent. I undo thine bindings on myself and others that should not be bound, by the rightful love, law, justice, and righteousness of the universe. I unbind all bindings done in ill intent upon myself and everyone, and for every intent to bind us anyway, I do instead bind you by your own intent. Something like that could work. I don't know. I've seen these movies too many times, but I think that'd be a pretty cool and interesting way to do it. Yeah. Two of Wands in reverse. Two people surrounding something, looking at the truth, looking at the illusionment, looking at what's changed, look at what it could be and what it should be and what it is. You look at that and you say it's a pole. But what else could it be? You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting, because, you also got to look at the relevancy of a situation, because if someone's going to stop someone from doing something in certain orders, why and how could that affect it? Because, let's look at the harm. Like, if someone's going to harm someone, it's good to stop people from harming them. But what if someone were to try to harm them first as well? Which is interesting, because if it's a psychopath that's going to hurt innocent people, well, that's fair, Maybe stop it happening would be pretty cool. But why are they doing this? Does this person want to harm someone? Does it not? Is everything as it seems, or is it not? It's all kind of cool and interesting. But, yeah, I've known a lot of people in certain laws who even try to put their ugliness. Like, I had an adopted stepmother situation once who was trying to convince, she was trying to put all of her scabs and scars and ugliness in other people. I don't know where the scars came from. I think she said it had something to do with, because I asked her the truth. Sometimes when you look at people with a true enough intent and you say tell the truth, they just tell the truth, and they don't even remember saying it. They're like, how the fuck did you know that shit? Like, how do you know all the shit about us? And it's like, well, you look at someone with the right intent and say tell the truth, and they just do it. Doesn't mean you can control them, yes, but you can make them tell the truth. So yeah, some people when they do this or that and tell the truth, you find out that some people can be quite hard and just be convinced that they're trying to put all their morals and their ugliness and steal this or that, or steal someone's natural born strength and make someone pay to use it, which is just putting them both in spiritual debt and trouble because they are paying for stolen things in some weird, hard underground situation, which I don't know how it would work unless you physically steal someone's actual muscles, which I guess it would leave like at least like little scars there and this and that from where and when it happened. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. Some people think it's crazy that it doesn't happen and someone should be on medication if they talk about hearing that happen, which I don't think is relevant, because if you hear someone say, I allege this rumor is going around, someone's like, medicated, look it up for saying that, and I was like, well, if you said you heard someone say that because you heard a rumor about that having happened, like on a TV show or something, for instance, My Hero Academia, their muscles disappear because they're using the magic, which is weird, because that's supposed to be some kind of ability, which I guess if it's the natural or consequences of the universe. I don't know a lot about all the spiritual stuff. I just got told a little bit about this or that, but if they possess that ability naturally and that's just how it works, it's just how it works. It's obviously not like someone saying, oh, I'm designing the consequences for your magic or your abilities cost. And it's like, that's not what that is. That's not what that is. You don't understand. You weren't taught. You didn't learn. You didn't know. You just said it should be that way because you saw someone else and assumed they were doing it that way because you're such a selfish fuck that you think you should make everything as you want it and see it rather than it is. The consequences work naturally. So it's kind of like think about it like water, right? You get water and you heat it up and it turns into steam or mist or something like that. That is a natural consequence. Saying you have a spoon and you're heating up with water, so you should have to poison me or give me one piece of your hair every time you use it, and try to trick you into that agreement is not okay, and it's not natural by the universe, and in fact it would not be valid one day, because if it were to go in front of a natural court or spiritual court in the spiritual world, it would definitely be undone, because that is not right. It's a trick. And that's not a valid deal. It's not a valid acceptance because the person didn't know for what they're signing, because you have to know every detail and every clause in the natural laws of the universe when it comes to spiritual stuff. The people who deceive and trick get by deceiving and tricking not because they're strong or true to the universe, but because they lied and weaseled their way in. And you'd be surprised to find some beings are said to be tricky, because having a tricky battle style and being able to trick someone into something else is not necessarily tricking someone in the universe, because it can be quite a useful tactic in life and in the battle and to win, but in certain spiritual ways it can be deceitful or weak. It doesn't mean everyone doing it has to be weak, but it can be a very, very valid strategy to use, yeah. But when you're doing it in that kind of way, it's not right and okay. It's not good by the universe. Some people being even so envious that they believe they are their victims, which is like, something in the universe. Anyway, look at my messy ass room. But so we got this one, which is, I think that's a little golden scorpion. The moon taking a scorpion. A cat and dog on either side of this road or stream, and a scorpion going away into the stream. So I don't know if this stream or river represents life and the universe and going away and heading into the universe. So I'm getting someone going down the natural stream of the universe and path rather than letting sticks and stones block them. Because these sticks and stones placed in, if life is but a stream, then someone could be placing sticks and stones, and you hear the path, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. But in the case of some spiritual laws, that's not true. But these sticks and stones can also be placed in the way of your path, and the rhyme can distract you from the fact that they're blocking the stream of your life, you know what I mean? So you got to get these sticks and stones out of the way so you can continue down your path and stream in life, because some of that rhyme can even be a trick. In the fact that sticks and stones might not break your bones, but they can block your path. You might have to go around them, you might have to overcome them, you might have to get them out of the way, but yeah. Okay, so I'm getting we have a general with two swords, one ready in either direction to do this or that, to go forwards. There's something hidden about this one, something at their back, and something at their side, and something in their right hand. Now there's a woman the blonde-headed woman is going to go forward into the future and see it look at something. They're going to be visiting a tree in a forest with a woman in a dress. There is going to be something to do with a fence that may have previously happened or could be happening to do with the situation. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of the law. I don't know if this is relevant here or not. Someone might know or someone might not. But you ever heard about the law that it is quite rude to point? Because if you are to point, you might accidentally poke an air hole, or make an air hole, or poke a hole in the air, or do something like this or that, which can set off a very negative chain reaction. So you might poke your finger in the air because you get mad at someone, and in order to hurt that person, by the universe, you poke a hole in the air, and then it makes an air pocket that does this and does that, and then a plane crashes just so it can land on someone. And all those innocent people that got hurt and got in the way, it's not their fault, you know what I mean? So, I don't know why, it just reminds me of the don't poke when you're angry, don't point fingers. It's very, very rude. It's quite a horrible thing to do. But at the same time, people can be pointing fingers to hurt someone, just like the, don't smile thing. You know, smiling can be a happy thing, but I always got taught smiling can be a bad thing too. Because, you know, some monkeys would think this in life too and stuff like that. But, smiling can be quite dangerous, apparently. I've always got told smiling is frowned upon, not quite dangerous, because if someone were to come from a magical line, some people might have made the magic of the past or runs in the family that a smile can actually curse someone. So, some sayings is saying, like, some people smile in the face of death. By spiritual or tradition, that means some people smile in the face of death, and they don't know why they smile or start laughing at horrible events or death. But this, by traditional and spiritual law, can actually mean they are bringing curses upon the ones who oppressed them in life, or they're bringing curses or a worse fate, or trying to bring to justice the ones who made this person meet a short demise. So when they smile or laugh at bad things happening, they could be unknowingly trying to curse the ones that are making these things happen to people. And it can be viewed as inappropriate, but spiritually speaking, they're trying to bring about a better fate for the other people, and trying to punish or bring bad things upon the one who did this to these people, and try to help as well. And they don't realize because a smile is said to be able to curse. Just like, don't point the fingers when you're angry or feeling that certain way, because it's kind of like, I guess the easiest way to describe it is like, I don't know, it's weird, but yeah, like chain reactions, bad things can happen. But I don't know if I quite believe it, but I've had some events in the past where I very much do believe it, so I don't honestly know what to think. Like, I'm not saying roofs have caved in or this or that has happened, and it's like, ooh, don't poke the fingers. Like, at one point I was so scared of myself, I was kind of like, bind my fingers together, and someone was once talking about, like, something being to do with, like, a mark of a supernatural being, this or that. I think it's bullshit, but I was so convinced that I was gonna, like, try to rip it off, and they didn't let me, so I tried to do it in the middle of camp, and I was like, damn. Scary shit. But I don't know if I believe in all this or that. Trust your gut when it says to you no. Maintaining your boundaries is healthy and serves you better in the long run. I want to do another cards, but I'm not sure which ones to do. I'm thinking these enchanted ones, but I'm also thinking the soul snake because I like it, and it reminds me of one of my favoriteest abilities in life, which is like, if you look into the eyes, it's kind of like some people see things, some people don't, but some people, these things come true, some of these things have and will happen, but sometimes when you look into someone's eyes, it said you can see the death, or sometimes you can see the soul of a person, and when someone looks at you, or looks into your eyes, or looks at you, especially if they try to judge you, it's this ability. It's kind of supposed to be some weird higher ability reference or something. I don't know if it's actually supposed to be that or if that's just a different similar one, because I said that in front of someone. They said, imagine saying that in front of an actual, and then they, like, random Native American lady came out and said, shh, you have no idea how dangerous these specific beings are. Were yeah. So anyway, like, when someone looks at someone in this, it's kind of like, if you've ever seen Family Guy, right, you see the lightning rod of the family, the Meg, you see the lightning rod of the family. Some traditional spiritual laws says it can be a lightning rod, yes, because lightning rods can take the negativity of the family and transmute it. But a lightning rod might get rid of it for certain situations, so that could also be looked at. I don't know if it's relevant to this situation or not, but it can also be viewed as a form of empathy, known as the mirror empath. So when someone looks at this person, they see what they don't like about themselves, or they see what people think of them and they don't realize it, or they see what they need to accept about themselves, what they need to overcome about themselves. So they might look at this someone and see all the regret they've had, or how other people view them, or how they treat other people, or how other people actually think of them, or all these different things. Like people look at them and they see themselves or something about themselves they need to know or need to accept, or don't know or don't accept. Another example is can be, I don't know if this is accurate, this is just a theory I had seen. Have you ever seen the episode of The Simpsons, the Ancestor Goody and stuff, when the demon goes inside a bar and he's like, oh my god, this boy has the darkest soul I've ever seen. It could be true because that boy can be quite cheeky and quite naughty, but do they have that dark of a soul, or is the thing inside of them just seeing themselves for the first time? You never know. I could be wrong, I could be right. It's just that I've had some theories on that just because I watched the video and then 2 videos later that popped on the stream and I was like, what if it's like a kind of empathy ability, not necessarily feeling the emotions of others, but seeing oneself in another. I don't know if it's true or not, it could be wrong, but I think it's a kind of interesting way to see it, look at it. But it could be wrong too. It could be definitely wrong because in those shows there's other indications that it might not be that, it might be that, it might not be that, you never know. Just like a theory, like I've seen on TV shows saying beings who are supposed to be of light energy are drawn to darkness and vice versa. So like, the fairy is attracted to the vampire because it's darkness, and the vampire is attracted to the fairy. It's like, well, why would someone who is darkness and attracted to light dress in such bright and light clothing? And why would someone who is of darkness dress in such dark clothing? That doesn't make sense to me. Wouldn't someone who is a being of light and the day be prone to, if they're attracted to darkness, be drawn to dressing in darker clothes? You know what I mean? Unless the day is night and night is day, but I don't think that's quite right. Okay, so we have the reversing or the undoing or the ending of a cycle. We have security, so someone is going to be safe or secure. And we have someone aligning with the future they should be, seeing someone. I'm getting leaves. I don't know what kind of leaves there are. It's just particular leaves on a particular bush, on a particular plant, on a particular tree, which is quite particular, but you never know whether or not it might be. It's kind of an interesting place, this tree. These leaves have got some little spots on them, but it's kind of interesting. I like it. I think that's pretty cool. I was thinking about how true fairies can be quite terrifying. Like, have you ever seen an example of a fairy as Morwhile in Pokemon? Those guys have like on the back of their head there's a second mouth which they eat through on the back of their head. They can be really, really scary. I looked on the Morwhile in Pokemon. Those are scary. Those are actually fairies, and they're kind of scary. Okay, so we have someone caring to a crop that has never been broken. Like, has anyone tried to tend to a crop and made something that seems white and dead get better because it's not quite gone, and made the white grass greener, which is kind of cool because I think it's like a state of hibernation that some people can get it back from, personally, because those plants might just go into hibernation before they die, which got me scared about certain situations with certain coffins, but I don't think that's real. Maybe those people all turned out to have the same nationality. I don't know, probably not. Anyway. We have someone blowing through something. So I'm getting there's like a tube or a vase or something with like maybe a design on it and this or that spills out as well. And someone's going to be getting this vase or getting a vase or getting this or that. And they're going to be blowing back into it and blowing through it for some reason. So someone's going to be blowing water through something or an object. into something. I don't know, that's weird. Okay, so we have a woman who was once surrounded by love, but there were many stakes, and many crosses, and many broken hearts. And then we have these hearts being black, and returning and going into the earth and turning back into the earth in somewhere they should be or shouldn't be. Um, we have someone who's kind of throwing something away, but someone else is swooping in and get it. So someone threw something away because they don't want that or don't want that life, but someone else went straight in to get and grab it. We have two people dancing like marionettes while a woman looks back, sits back, relaxes, and watches it with flowers. But is she lying back and relaxing on flowers, or is she being stabbed in the back by ice? I don't know. I'm getting something like a peacock. And this man, this boy, he looks kind of particular. I swear it looked different. We have three women dancing around holding a heart with roses on each side of them. So three women and three roses and three hearts or one heart that they're dancing around surrounding. And we have a wise prophet of age standing upon a tree and bales of hay. A man and a woman, two people destined to meet upon a road. I can't read that word, I don't know that language, but yeah. And then we have some very faint trees. Have you ever heard of a ghost tree? A ghost tree is quite cool because we once gave someone a leaf from a ghost tree. I once gave someone a leaf from a ghost tree. And it's very unique in particular because you have to learn to pick up the leaves from that tree without accidentally breaking them. And give them to someone. It's very unique in particular to give the leaves of that tree to someone without breaking them. And yeah, we once gave someone a tree, and there used to be, in the town we came from, there were ghost leaf trees. There's these leaves that look kind of like they're ghost leaf trees, and they were particular because some people would always stop around this area here, and they would look at these, and they were pretty cool and pretty particular. Yeah, but somewhere along this trail path where two people are supposed to meet, there might be some of these trees with these see-through leaves. And yeah, that's pretty interesting and cool. Um, yeah, so we have two snakes, purple and red, going around surrounding two stars and two coins intertwined by a golden lightning bolt avoiding a black lightning bolt, collecting seashells by the shore. We have a woman seeing, thinking, looking into a book or a picture to reflect on herself and reflect on who she was and who she is and the beautiful person she's becoming. She sees what she has lost, she sees what's in the universe, and she sees what's in store. And she can see them like the butterflies flapping their wings in the universe and all the effects they'll possibly make. Like, if I could go into detail about the possibilities of the universe and how as much a single step can take or make or affect if one is to take a single step, and how much of a difference that can make, depending on the directions of how everything works together, it could drive someone mad. But we have two places being set at a table, and we have one place overlooking them in particular. And we have the hanged man. So we have someone being caught in a trap, picking up a red hairpiece or a brooch. So someone might have been caught in a trap, and there might be a red hair clip or a pink hair clip, maybe a black one, or even like a, I don't know how to describe that one, like a weird flowery, colorful one. Someone getting picked up by a trap. And we have death come imminent. We have a skeleton incoming. But this skeleton is no ordinary skeleton. It's not death either, but it's not a thing of life or a thing of death. It's a skeleton. It is a skeleton. Why is a skeleton walking? Why does it look like that? Why does it go like that? So I'm getting there something could be something about this skeleton. I don't think it's the horrid case that I've heard of people trying to make living skeletons that feel pain by some weird surgery, how you can transplant like an organ or a heart or a hand by putting all of those things and moving muscles inside of the skeletal system. So it's like they work outside, but they do the math and they make it all work the same, but they hollow the bones out a little bit and they make the fluid run inside the bones and they take and put the muscles inside of the skeleton. I've heard rumors of that and it's quite a horror, but I don't think I don't think that's real or something that's very commonly done just to sit there and feel pain. It's quite horrid sounding, but yeah. Perhaps this is skeleton as a thing of necromancy, perhaps it is a warning or an omen, or perhaps it's wondering that us seeking what happened. I'm getting that it may attack you or it may take you, but yeah, the skeleton is quite unique and quite interesting. So there is a skeleton who wanders. What they're looking for, I don't know, but they're seeking something. A skeleton is wandering forever seeking something. Okay, something about a temple and four swords and repairs crossed at every angle near a temple with a tree. I don't know if it's an oak tree, a man in a white shirt, and a particular kind of bronzy golden brick pathway. There is an eye looking upon them from there. And we have two women who are going to be leaving and not tending in a garden for a particular time or a week. But the water still needs to float in that garden. So if two women are to leave a garden for a week, who is to take their place? Okay, we have two giant mushrooms bulging, and a man who is a fan or is holding a fan, or a man was a fan of two giant bulging mushrooms and had them and was trying to go over a hill or a tree or to a place with a curtain or a mat with these little kind of leafy yellow design things like that. He's going there. He's going to look or admire at something in a red chair, but it's quite a horrid scene where someone trying to take something they want or know, and they want to take it for their own. This person could have refused. And I'm getting this as back to the wise men and two people supposed to meet here there. It was the first time I looked at the wise men making them meet, but now perhaps someone is a wise man making two people not meet who should meet because they think they're doing a better thing in the short run, but they're not. Like, if you've heard stories of people who are not supposed to possess foresight or people who know things are going to happen because they're smart, and it's better to save everyone involved, yes, but if you could lose one person and one friend today, but that person dying and losing that one friend means that you're going to save 100 people and 100 innocent lives, and 100 people don't have to go through trauma and get raped and murdered for 50 years each, maybe 12 or 18 for some. Would you be willing to lose that friend to spare the life of 100 innocent people? Men. You know what I mean? It's an interesting, scary situation. But you never truly know, because you have to look to what truly is and learn what is. It's just like what I've learned about all these psychics and these supposed psychics in life. Some people say, oh, I'm going to be a dominant psychic. If I was psychic, I'd be dominant. But as far as I had learned by all the traditions and all the family laws, what I had learned, there's actually not such thing as a dominant psychic. There should never be a dominant psychic. And that's not something that's supposed to exist, because when it comes to that, if you're allowed to exist with that and you are possess it naturally, it's just what is and what isn't and what should be and what shouldn't. Because being dominant means being evil and making things happen that should not, because trying to push your way over another person in the ways of this or that means that you're simply making things happen that should not have happened, and you're simply going to hurt people who should have never been hurt so that you can prove your way or make yourself be or think you are more, when no one who is naturally blessed or gifted with that ability should ever think or see or say this. Because it's not something that should be or should exist. It should just simply be, or else you're just going to be upsetting the actual order of things and making them as they shan't be. You know, it's just everyone has their thing, everyone has their part. You could be seeing who people, you know, you could be seeing people who are meeting people they're supposed to meet in the ways of love one day, trying to help them get there by doing what you've seen and what you can. It might not feel like you're doing your best, it might feel like you fuck up, but you're doing your best to get there, because if you're shown that and you're supposed to do that and you're supposed to see that, you will be. I was actually sitting outside before work talking about how I think some people might see love and some people might see death if they're real psychics and all this or that. And that was kind of funny enough shortly before the TV show Wednesday came out. And I was like, well, this kind of matches up with what I know and see in life. And what I know about this is kind of all matches up with the right things about this or that too, which is kind of interesting. But yeah. I don't know. I've gone on and I've blabbered enough about all these weird things and these weird thoughts and situations. And the truth, let's see. If there were to be an animal in your life in this time of struggle that you would call on, what would it be? What do you think would mean most to you? Have you survived fierce like the wolf? Have you avoided the struggles of life and blended? Have you not wanted to stick out and be noticeable, so you're stuck in and blended in like a chameleon? Have you flew away like the swan? Have you evaded the trap set before you like the gentle, long-prolonged, not wings, talons of the stork? You know, what have you done in life? Not that you have to be an animal, but comparably, what have you done? So I'm seeing we have a cat in reverse. So cats are usually quite playful. They might toy and play with things. Someone might have been stopping someone. So it's like a cat, but this is the other cat. This is the cat that's like, no, don't rip its wings off. Don't play with it. And they're going to be attacking and assaulting the other cat to stop them playing with it. We have someone who is like a bear. Someone who walks forward, nose in the air, following the northern lights and the lights in the air because they can perceive them. And they might know them. And they will simply just fuck you off if they want to. They kind of just don't give a fuck in life, and they're going forward and doing and being the best they can. And if you get in their way, they will cut you. We have a ladybug in the world. So ladybugs can represent good luck, and they can see good luck, and they can find good luck, and they can gift good luck. So ladybugs can gift good luck and see good luck, and their omens of being good luck. But the ladybug in reverse can represent a lack of luck. And because they represent luck, it could mean someone who gives bad luck, but I don't think it means that. I think it means someone who is not as lucky as they should be. So someone who is getting very tempted, and someone in life who is not receiving and has less luck than they should, and is not as lucky as they should be in life. We have a peacock in reverse, so we have someone, I get that this represents to sexuality and beauty. Someone should have more sexual prowess, and someone should be more beautiful. So, someone that this reading might affect for, or be talking for in certain bits of heart, is someone who doesn't have as many feathers, as big feathers, as they should, and someone who's not as beautiful, or out there, or proud, or noticeable, or as beautiful, or as sexually prowess, as sexually, like, ferocious or prowessful as they should be. And we have a falcon in reverse, so rather than swooping in and diving and finding and going into the situations and doing what they should, this person is swooping away from situations that they should be swooping into. So the wind's changing in the wrong direction has led to someone thinking or not doing something they should. So we have someone who's not playing a part that they should at this point. So someone else might have to step in. You know, could be out of fear, but could be because of duress, could be this or that, could be because of a big, bad old situation too. So anyway, we have the next one. Empowerment. Empowerment is the great engine of great sex. It can be the empowerment of great sex, it can be the empowerment of great love, great joy, great sadness, depending when or where it's used. But when you think about it, sex can be many things. Sex can be a thing of hatred, it can be a thing of love, it can be a thing of spite, it can be so many different things in life, you know. And just because something is a thing of sex, it doesn't mean it has to be a demon or an evil thing, because without sex, how would we have life? It's one of the key flavors and the key mechanics to life, so yeah. We should only be doing it with those who we trust and care about. Someone might want to go have a few hookups here or there because whatever, as long as they truly want to, they're not just doing it because everyone else wants them to feel and makes them feel like they should be this way. But, you know. It should be about what you want, and you want what you want to be comfortable with, and you being the honest, comfortable, true, good you. Do you want to try it? Do you not want to try it? What do you feel? Is the universe, is God, or whatever being, or is yourself, is your ancestor, is your intent and guidance telling you to go towards something? I honestly don't think God will ever tell you to essay or hurt someone in a particular way like that, but they also could be trying to help you for something in the future that is unseen as well. There could be something very unseen about this, but you should trust in like the natural law of the universe and like the guidance of the universe and good things too. It's kind of very interesting. Anyway, peace, cheers, blessings, love, light, darkness, heaven, hell, high earth, flowers, potatoes, fire, watermelons, cheese, and a bundle of sticks making a bonfire. Peace, good night, wear a cheese hat, do whatever you want. Bye.